How'd you make yourself in the middle?
I can do anything I want now because thanks, StreamYard. Hey, everybody. This is Nat21's Ask Me Anything with me, Paolo Garbanzo. We have Adamo Ignis. We have Mab Just Mab. We have... Wait. I know, everybody's in different places today. We have
I'm not me, man.
We have Kitty Chaos. And we are here to answer your questions that you have. I see that we got Josh and Tommy here. Now, of course, this show is going to be, right now, it's just with our Patreon saints. And, you guys get to ask us whatever you want. And then this will go up for the rest of the public, weeks later, once I don't know, have a chance to edit it or something. I don't know. So welcome everybody for being here. And if my friends on YouTube, go ahead and type in any questions you have. We're going to just put them up there for everybody. And I've got questions of my own that I would love to hear, because despite all of the talking that we do, we actually have tons of feedback that I'd love to hear from everybody who's played the game. So hi, Josh. Hi, Tommy. Thanks for coming here. And go for it. Just type your questions in the comments. And
also remember, we can swear now.
Yeah.
So you can ask us the most inappropriate questions you can think of.
That is cod swallop, Mad. That is cod swallop.
I tell you what else. I have no filter and I have no shame. I have no privacy. If you really want to know how many okay. Oh, there's a question. We actually have a couple.
Actual question. Okay. All right. Here we go. Let's see. Well, our first question is, no, I think Pink Dragonborn is an exclamation.
Oh, yeah. And by the way, that looks awesome on you.
Yeah, it looks fantastic.
How long did that take you?
Really excited. Oh my gosh, 8 hours. It was a whole day.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Worth it.
Yeah, it was a lot. I mean, my hair is so dark. It takes time to get it light enough to do pink, but now that it's pink, I'm loving it. It's a lot of fun, and I have a lot of cosplays that I want to do with the pink hair.
Nice.
So I'm brainstorming, I'm getting some stuff together, and I'm really excited to start posting some fun stuff that hopefully you guys will recognize. So
sweet. Yeah, I saw you starting to put some of those pics up on your Facebook page. Are they anywhere else?
So I have a Facebook and I have an Instagram. And anybody's welcome to follow my personal page. It is The Gypsy Punk. So at The Gypsy Punk on Instagram. So I do post a lot of stuff there, some of the fire, but mostly it's just my life. So if you're interested in what I'm up to and what kind of weird stuff I do to my hair, you can go there and see all of it.
Let's see here. The Gypsy Punk.
Yeah.
All right.
Do you guys all have Instagrams too? I never actually asked you.
I have several.
Yeah. So we all post all of our Instagrams now.
Yeah, everybody just throw your Instagrams up there so we all know what we're doing here. We also, Nat21 also has a new Instagram as well. We just made it just last week. So you should go on over there and check that out as well. But our first question from Joshua, I mean, this is a hard question. He's hitting us right where we sometimes used to work. What is your favorite Ren fair that you've performed at? Whew. Might as well just go a little clockwise, I guess. Let's tell you what. Let's start there with Adamo, and then
I just talked about my hair, so I think Mab should go.
Yeah, okay. All right, we'll start with Mab, and then we'll go around. All right, Mab.
That's a good question. The one I performed at the most was Maryland Ren Fair. I liked it because it was relatively close to me, and great stages, and really good backstage area, and solid fans. They were amazing, and they would come out to the shows, and I loved them the most. So I'm gonna say Maryland. Louisiana was fun, but I only did like a handful of weekends at Louisiana, and it was Louisiana. That's what I'll answer.
I was gonna say if you don't say Maryland, then you're fired.
Wow.
I think it was Maryland. Maryland. Yeah. That was the first fair I performed at too, actually.
Okay, and I just want to, before we go any further, Mab and I, a bajillion years ago, worked together at the Ohio Medieval Fantasy Fair, which has since shut down, I think, after only like 2 years.
Home of the Haunted Hydro.
That's right. It was the fantasy of it was that it was a festival. That I think is pretty much, and that is, I think, where I first came up with Paolo Garbanzo versus the Joust many years ago, because every single one of my shows was during the Joust, and I was a mere 100 feet away.
That's what New Jersey and Connecticut both do to me.
Yeah. So that was an amazing thing, and. Matt, okay? Well, we'll keep going. But that was one of my most memorable festivals. I have to say, most memorable because wow. Also, that was there was actually some really good stories. That was the one, the "You're the Shit" story, which was hilarious. There was also the time that the two raccoons tried to kill Dennis, and then. What else happened? Oh, there was a lot of fireflies. There's things you remember from
that was beautiful. I've never to this day witnessed anything as beautiful as
so many fireflies.
In firefly genre.
Billions of them, probably. Anyway.
Mab, after you just answered your thing about fair, it occurred to me, like, I don't really know, like, what did you do at Ren Fair? So for people out there that may not know as well, like, I would love to know.
So I was a Mab of many talents. At Maryland, I worked at the House of Musical Traditions, which is a ethnic folk instrument shop, pretty well known in the DC metro area. I also played percussion. I also used to belly dance back in the day. I am now tapping on 50 years old, and I know.
Girl,
you got that Paul. You got that good Paul Rudd blood going on.
It's part of it's being Irish, so it does go a long way. But my, around 35, I guess, is when my knees stopped being what they were, and I did a lot of fairs with Paul when he was first starting out. We kind of like would experiment with some stuff on stage. I think I was working with him on stage on some shows we did together, doing percussion and wiseassery.
We did that whole belly dance show at Tennessee.
Oh yeah, that was a good one. That was fun. Where we were, cool crikey! Look at this wild belly dancers in their natural habitat. Check out the plumage on that one.
Yes.
It was awful.
It was terrible. It was hilarious. So Shakespeare, what your favorite festival?
Just as Mab said, I don't know. I'm going to say I'm going to have to take a pass on that one, partly because, I don't want it to get back to any fair that I didn't name them as a favorite, because every fair, and I actually do mean this genuinely, and I apologize for the bad lighting conditions. It was a very fast setup, but every fair has something to it, because it's either and it's always the people, but either amazing stages or beautiful landscaping, size of crowds at some shows. Like New York, for instance, I can get gigantic crowds. Whereas Louisiana, I have these wonderful intimate shows sometimes.
Right.
And then also like an incredible explosion of a crowd, like weirdly, like at a Sunday at 3:00. It's just like, that's bizarre. Connecticut they love putting me up against the Joust, I think, just because I
have a question.
I complained about it.
I have a question about Connecticut.
Yeah.
Many years ago, it was in Connecticut. It was a Connecticut Ren Fair. I only did it one season, and I did it. I was a pickup musician with a Middle Eastern band. I want to say it was Mince Pie. It might have been Carpathos, but our stage was a massive tree. The tree was the backdrop, and all up through the tree, they had lights up in there. And this particular fair played well into the evening, like at 8:00 at night.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
I don't remember the name of that fair.
This is not that fair.
It is not that fair. Okay.
Well, or
but I
if
remember
it, or
Connecticut.
Or if it was, the Connecticut Renaissance Fair had a thing for a while where they had to move every few years, just because. Yeah, it's not a hard site show. But
well, they did do that Halloween thing. They would do a Halloween thing at night. So maybe that's what.
Maybe you were doing that. Like they would do fire jousting with like really fun, cool lighting effects. The one jousting and the night. The jousting company that they have at Connecticut has several women who are the jousters, which is really cool. But yeah, every show has something to recommend it. It's great. Like for instance, Louisiana, it's a beautiful site and they have amazing food. Right. And they also, for being in your kind of in conservative central, and I'm very much not, but they don't do anything to censor me. I have made ridiculous, terrible jokes. Mostly they're just bad jokes. But
I mean, that was the show where I saw Christoph the Insulter the first time, and I'm like, "Oh,
right."
Shut! Oh, and yeah, Josh, I can tell you that fair that I'm talking about was not King Richard's because I've done that show a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like so every show I've done has something to recommend it. Even ones that have only lasted one season. I did a 1-season show in Florida. It was the Renaissance Festival of Central Florida. And I had to go up against Lindsay Sterling, the violinist who does ballet.
Oh my god!
What?
Yeah, it was a bizarre.
She was at the fair.
Yeah, and we were not allowed to interact with her.
She does Ren fairs.
Apparently she came from the Renaissance Fair world, but we were not allowed to speak with her. So we had running jokes. All the variety performers: do not make eye contact with the violinist. Do not make eye contact with the violinist. And so then I had to introduce her, but then up until like 3 minutes before the show, I had not exchanged one word with her. Like, hey, how do you want me to say anything? And then someone goes, excuse me, Miss Lindsay, Shakespeare would like to introduce you. I'm like, no. I would not like to introduce you. I would have liked to have gone to dinner an hour and a half ago.
Miss Sterling, do you want me to say somebody with a violin gonna dance around a little? Sound good?
Cool.
Let's do that. That's what I'm saying.
It's time for a hoedown. Can I say that?
Yeah. So that show ended because the owner very sadly and tragically got cancer, and it took him very quickly. But like that was an amazing show because they're like, oh, you want Disney tickets? I was like, okay, cool. I mean, so like, and that crowd had no idea what to do with the Renaissance Fair, but they were entertained. And they're like, and so there's something to recommend any fair. So that's my answer.
Very diplomatic, but also very true because it's such a hard. Yeah, you're like, you go to one fair and you're like, I mean, honestly, it's like, King Richard's Fair. What I love about it, honestly, it's a fine fair. But what I really love about it is staying in Cape Cod because no other fair you do that at. And you get you rent these beach houses that are off season, so you're paying very minimal rent. You basically take the entire town over with a bunch of renties, and you go kayaking in the ocean, and it's the best.
That sounds amazing.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, but like other festivals possibly better crowds at the festival. You're like everything. Yeah, everyone is different. But Kitty, it's time to put you on the spot and ask you what your favorite fair is.
I'm going to take the same route of I'm not going to pick a favorite, but I can talk about favorite stuff at the different
Absolutely.
ones.
Do that for the good of all of our jobs.
Yeah.
They're not
So
watching
I have
this.
a lot
It's
of
fine.
favorite things. I have a lot of favorite things about the Louisiana Fair because, like, first of all, that's my hometown fair. And so when
Oh.
I'm there, it means I get to spend time with my friends and my family from home. Plus our, 6-year running D&D games that we've been playing there. It's a big part of what I love about it. And not only do I get to do my solo show there, but I also get to do Paolo and I's knife throwing show
That's right.
and the Mousetrap show, which now Shakespeare is also in. And so
That was
so
one of the
fun.
greatest,
Oh, you guys
dumbest
see
things
the-
I've ever done.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I've been like watching the Mousetrap show and I've been like really into it. And out of all the things I do, I don't juggle. But I want to learn how to juggle just to do the Mousetrap show because it looks like so much fun. Oh,
I
my
don't
God.
juggle, but I get to drop about 150 mousetraps
Yep.
down onto the stage and just start throwing them. It's amazing.
Yeah, I'd say, if we're
Yeah.
at the same fair, I mean, you can be one of the judges and you don't have to juggle at all. But what we need from our judges is merely like to be able to do like a trick so that you can, so that we can place the mouse traps. There's like a whole timing issue where it's like, you need you to fill about 5 or 6 minutes of time while we throw down 600 mouse traps on the stage and you eat fire, you do all that stuff. So, I mean, you could easily do that. And then you get to chuck mouse traps at us.
Yes,
Kitty-
I'm down. Yes.
Kitty and I had this one amazing day where neither of us was doing anything. We were just telling a story that wasn't going anywhere. We just kept restarting the story for about 5 minutes. And I thought
And
like you were
somehow it was hilarious.
oh, yeah, the entire audience was eating it up. And I'm like, she must be so drunk. and then you said to me at the end of the show, "Oh my God, how drunk are you?" I'm like, "I don't drink." It was amazing. Oh my God.
That was great. Yeah. I came this close to making out with you too.
Oh my God, that was.
Oh
too
yeah,
funny.
that was that show. I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the one?
Nice.
No, it was like just a bizarre, weird thing of like, what?
Yeah.
All right. Yes,
I
and.
love that about the Mousetrap show. Like it's supposed to go off the rails and it does, and it's great.
Yeah, a million years ago when we had Shoshi Kim and
Right.
the Wandering Gypsy Theater and AJ, and we and for like 4 years we had it worked out so that it was like it would ramp up every whatever it was, and we would do some crazy improv thing. And one year it was like something weird happened, and then it turned into like, oh yeah, it's gonna be a pie fight. And like there was one pie at one show, and then there was like 2 pies like the next week, and then there was like, and then we ended that show. That last show was like 32 pies and 3 trays that were just filled with whipped cream, like a tray, like a lasagna pan. And the best part, I have to say, okay, so like the whole setup was like, we had 3 pies, and the prize or the punishment for losing each round was a pie in the face. And we said, but there's a mousetrap in one of these pies.
Oh my God.
So
Oh my
somebody's going to get a mousetrap, oh no, right? And that was the premise. And then AJ loses the first round, pie in the face, gets the mousetrap. And we're like, oh no. And I'm like, whoo, well, that's a relief because that means the other 2 pies don't have mousetraps in them. I lose the next round. AJ pies me in the face, and there's another mousetrap. And then we're like, and then me and AJ are like, wait a minute, there's only supposed to be one. And we're like, excuse me, judges, there was only supposed to be one. You set up these pies.
Oh no.
And then the judges like disappeared. And we were like, And then so I grabbed the last pie and I'm like waiting at the door. This is in Louisiana, so there we're up on the balcony. And then I'm waiting at the door, like, we'd like the judges to come out, please. And then they come out and they're armed with a ton of pies. And then it turns into this giant pie fight. And then of course, as per professional wrestling, AJ accidentally pies me. So then of course I'm like, because it was me and him versus the judges. And then I'm like, he accidentally pies me. So then I grab a pie and I'm chasing him around the whole area. And we had this plan. This was beautiful. He goes and runs into the audience and I go and chase him. And then I accidentally pie a guy in the face who was Steven. He was a huge biker dude. And the thing is, like, he was sitting like in the front row and I had him there and I like, boom, accidentally pie him. And I was like, oh my gosh.
On purpose, accidentally or accidentally?
He was prearranged that he would get the pie. But the audience was like, oh shit, just got real, like, because he's in the front and boom. And then he stands up and he's like 6'8". He's gigantic. And he just starts to stand up. And then he's like, I'm down here. And it's like, he gets even bigger. And I was like, oh crap. And he turns around. AJ has a pie. AJ hands him the pie. And bam, he nails me. And just, it was hilarious. It was great. Good times. But I mean, we've done like musical stuff. We ended one season with Golden Helmet of Mambrino. It was awesome. Oh, yeah, AJ, and we didn't tell AJ. That was the best part. AJ had no idea. And once again, I had Steven, big giant biker dude. A couple of years, I made a golden helmet, from Man of La Mancha. I had given it to Steven. I was like, Steven, just stand. You sit right here, and then when I tell you, when I just give you the nod, you put the hat on. No one's ever gonna see it because distraction, whatever. AJ had this whole big thing where he went around and like he got a big giant crown and then like had this other person like knight him and all this other crap. And I was like, oh yeah, that's a nice hat. That's a nice hat. And I walk out into the audience and there he is wearing the helmet. And of course, then I do the whole Golden Helmet of Mambrino opening. And then it ends with Shoshin Kim throwing confetti and streamers off the balcony. And I had 4 other people come out. I had Jax the Whipper. I had a whole bunch of people like waving flags. And we were like, Golden Helmet of Mambrino. And it was, oh my God. And AJ the whole time was just like, he had no idea. Anyway.
That is genuinely a game of F your buddy.
Oh yeah, it's totally, oh my God. As long as it's good. As long as it's like, yeah, but it was good.
So, anyway. Christine, what's your favorite Renaissance fair?
I'm over here, Paolo.
There we go. I can't.
You're the one that's fucked it up.
Again, I'm going to say like every fair has something to offer. And I could sit here for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, a half an hour and go through every fair and just have like wonderful things to say because there isn't a fair that I don't like. But there are a couple that like really stand out to me.
Just stopped.
I never got to perform at Maryland with fire because Maryland is a no fire fair.
Yeah, there's a reason. I was there.
Yeah.
Oh,
really? Yeah.
Wasn't my fault.
Yeah. Just not anymore. But had a lot of fun there with Kudu, doing different dance and having a good time with that. And yeah, Mab, you're right. Those crowds are incredible. They're so enthusiastic and it is always like a party. So that's always great. Like the energy is just always up here constantly.
We just lost Judy for some reason, huh?
I also really love Georgia. The grounds are stunning there. Like it is truly a beautiful fair. And the hospitality, that Southern hospitality, it's just a joy. And because it's they have great stages, but there are fewer of them. A lot of the performers get to interact more closely and a lot of people that I love are there. So that's always nice. And then of course, PARF, because Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair is my home fair.
Oh yeah, that's right. Philly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's where I started off acting before I started my independent show. But Jersey Fair is where I had my first independent performance. So it's like all of these fairs,
Right.
I keep thinking of a new fair and a new reason. And it's just the Ren Fair community is the best. It's the best people.
It is. I feel like we have crossed paths before. I really do. Like a million years ago, I don't know what the name of his shop is, but he went by Father Dunn. And so he brought in some dancers, and I was doing percussion for the dancers. They were Ramka. And I remember, I feel like.
Wait, was it at Ohio?
No, that was in. No, I'm pretty sure it was the Pennsylvania Ren Fair.
Okay.
Yeah, because we had a game where we were taking pictures of every Captain Jack Sparrow that we found. And,
oh my God,
so many Captain Jacks.
You know what I love at going to fair? I love to play Spot the DM.
Oh yeah.
Well, there he is now. He keeps moving.
Or Spot the Doctor. So
Spot a Doctor.
Either way, it's like you're looking for Doctor Who's, or you're looking for people that are probably dungeon masters.
Right.
And if you see them first, you get to add it to your tally, and then whoever spots the most wins at the end of the day, and everybody gets them a drink. So.
Nice.
My latest favorite is spot the Critical Role t-shirts. Whoever has more Critical Role t-shirts at the end of the day. So Paolo, we're gonna need Nat21 t-shirts.
They're on the way.
Okay. Cool.
Write that down.
One thing I want to say to kind of tie in this top row here so you do Sideshow and the Blades Ladder, and Paul does the Mousetrap show, and I do my own Mousetrap Sideshow.
Oh, I've got that too, just so you know.
Oh, that's right. Yes, we've done that together. We did Captain the One-Eyed Jack down in New Orleans. That was the time I met you. Are you guys ready?
Yeah.
Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do
I'm
this.
concerned.
Should I do it?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, do it.
No.
I say
Paul,
yeah.
you're the
Yeah, do
fighter.
it.
You want me to
Here, I'm gonna roll
the
die. And then
Oh God, no! Don't do it. I knew you. That's where you were going with this. No, don't. Oh no.
Oh man.
No, I'm leaving. Okay. Just let me know when it's over. Okay.
It's over. You can come back now.
You are a liar.
I thought I had one handy, but I don't.
So yeah, I do stupid acts of stupidity. Here you go. Wait, where'd Shakespeare go?
He took off.
He doesn't wanna watch.
Yeah, we're done. Yeah, you can come back.
Yeah.
Listen, we'll make a clip of it later and Rickroll him with it.
So normally I have this in my volunteer's hand, so it's weird doing it to myself, but I'll give it a shot.
Oh jeez.
I'm mostly retired too, so here we go.
And
I'm part of the world record for most sideshow grind acts on stage at one.
Oh yeah.
Mousetrap.
Here we go.
No.
What?
No.
You sure?
He's not even watching him. He's like, no.
All right,
Because I can hear you. I can hear you.
This is your opportunity to go to the bar and get us around beer. Okay, here we go.
I heard it. Oh my God.
Oh
my. Oh.
Every time.
Oh.
I hate it.
Oh my God. Oh no.
I'm pretty.
I mean, I have 500 mousetraps on my toes, and still I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that trick. Nope.
No, why?
Oh my God.
No, I think as far as mousetraps go, the worst it gets is right on the pinky knuckle.
Oh yeah. Okay. Wait. I was gonna say, Mab, keep that on your tongue while you answer our next question, which is favorite race class combo in D&D.
Oh, the race and class combo.
A classic question.
Classic.
Yeah, it is. So when I was younger, it was human and elf, but now that I've gotten older, I feel strong solidarity and empathy for the gnome hobbit, or I'm sorry, you can't say it, halfling races.
Right.
And I have always been in the rogue class, so would be rogue and bard.
No, all right.
Bards are essentially rogues with magic. Let's be honest.
Well, let's tell you what. We'll go from Mab, and then we'll go counterclockwise this time, because I was thinking about that too. It's like, oh my gosh, the rare chances that I actually do get to play. Hilariously I play. I'm so just like, I don't know. Is that so? Dwarven fighter. I like taking these really cool little feats that, and then and then have a dwarf do it. And part of it is probably because I've put a lot of like world building into my dwarves in that it's in my world, so they kind of like. I just have a lot of like all the things that they do, all the things they make, and it's all part of everything they do. So my dwarves usually have like, they've got a mission aside from just adventuring and getting treasure. It's like, why are they doing it? And it's like, well, it's really so that they can take all that treasure back home and make their place real cool and make their like it's kind of almost Klingon-y kind of thing where they're like, the honor of my family requires that I take all this treasure I just got and build a statue and put it in their cave. I'll never even see it. It's like, I just spent 10,000 gold pieces on a statue that I probably won't see ever while adventuring. And it's just gives you, it just gives you a mission. Like I remember having a character where we got a whole bunch of gems, and I was like, great, I'm going to go actually put them on my future crypt. And they were like, what? They're like, yeah. I'm I've got like 1,000 GP gems, and I'm going to like have somebody carve a thing on my crypt. And they're like, you have a crypt? Of course I have a crypt. I'm a dwarf with a family. They have crypts. They have like, the family crypt. I'm going to make, and I took like a, I had a griffin's foot because we had gotten a griffin, and it was like, I'm going to put that in there.
I'm so sorry, Kitty.
Taxidermy.
I'm getting angry. Yeah.
But hey, that griffin attacked us. All right, I didn't attack the griffin. But anyway, so yeah,
maybe you should have been more pure of heart.
I'm a dwarf. But yeah. So
goblin.
Currently, my favorite thing, dwarf fighter. So that it feels kind of basic.
No, I love it. Sometimes classics are classics for a reason.
That's
just love it.
Yeah, I played a human for the first time ever in the last year, and I was like, I actually like it.
Wow. All right, well, what about you?
I have to add, it doesn't matter what character, human, or what race and class combo, it has to have an interesting story. You just made me think of this. Like, I had a high elf that was like, grew up in a brothel and was like, and it just to kind of turn that story on the end.
Gritty background.
But it wasn't just being a gritty background. It was like, what do you think of this archetype? Go in the another direction and challenge yourself as a player and still play within those confines of things that excite you with the character. Sorry, continue.
I'll start off by saying, like, I always put character background first. So anytime that I'm creating a character, I always start with the story that I want to tell for the character. And then I will like fit the race class to make sense, because I love backstories that are full and like rich and that makes sense. But I do love elf druids. I do tend to play druid 90% of the time, but I love spellcasters. So druid, sorcerer, and warlock are my favorite. And I just pick one depending on what the character story is. And it's been a lot of fun, and gonna keep doing it that way probably.
Sweet. Kitty.
So to answer the question properly, to give a race and class combo, I just want to first say my favorite class is 100% rogue. I love being a rogue. I love being squirrely. I love surprises and
Sorry,
like,
Joe.
climbing stuff and and just trying to think of, I don't know. For some reason, it really gets my creativity going playing. I mean, I guess playing any class does, but I don't know. I just love rogues. But anybody could be a rogue. Some races are better suited for it. But as far as like race and class combo, my favorite is half-orc barbarian because I love smashing the shit out of stuff as this like big dumb monster. Like that's the best. Like just doing nasty damage, running straight in, no thought. Like I'm going straight for that, and I'm gonna hit it. Like I love it.
Nice. Shakes.
Okay. My favorite character I played of all time was a halfling wizard where we were genuinely rolling up all of your ability scores, and I rolled an 8 for intelligence. And so a friend of mine, he decided he was also going to be a halfling, and he also rolled an 8 for intelligence. And so we decided we were now brothers, and TJ Miller was running the game. So our so
you guys have a long history of
we do. And we're like, we want to be brothers. He goes, oh my God. So we're coming in, we're like, and we're going, telling everybody, each other our stats on the first game. And we're like, we have a 16 intelligence. People are like, what? How is it? And we're like, together.
Combined.
And so we were halflings, and I was a wizard or a sorcerer. So it was like early on, I could do nothing except magic missile. But then like I hit like 3rd or 4th level, and all of a sudden I had like all of this stuff I could just start whipping out, like fireballs, except I didn't have the intelligence to control the fireballs. So I would just send fireballs rolling everywhere, setting bad guys on fire, good guys on fire, everything. But
I'm Adamo Ignis, and I approve this message.
So the thing I liked most about it, though, was for us, the biggest creature either of us had ever seen was a large dog. Like we were thinking like maybe the size of a Labrador, possibly a Saint Bernard. And so there was no concept in our brains of anything bigger than a large dog. So here's a dragon. It's the world's biggest dog. We have to go up and give it tummy rubs. and so people are like throwing like shooting bows and casting spells and charging up. John Williams, he had a character. He had a dwarven barbarian. He was running up. I'm going to charge it with my axes and swords. And we are running up, each of us stripping off armor. We are throwing things off because we wanted to go as fast as we could to get to the giant flying puppy so we could rub his tummy.
Oh boy.
And everybody in our party was upset that we kept making the dodge rolls, like when shooting spouts of fire and stomping them. We keep making all the rolls so we get to it, and we just like start climbing on his tummy. And TJ is like, "Well, I guess you guys become friends with the dragon. I mean, I guess that's just how this is."
Wow.
So that is one of my favorite things. So
awesome.
But I've gotten with Paul to play a whole bunch of different weird stuff, like the unnamed hero.
Unnamed.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh, he's got to come back at some point.
And I mean, that was just a human fighter, but it was the best. It was really so good. And that whole thing came out because I was using Hero Labs or something like that to build characters. And if you don't name it on the character sheet, when you print it up, it says unnamed hero. Like that's
I'm like,
name.
Oh my God, Paul, can that be my name? He's like, I don't care. And so he's just like, I don't even remember the character's name.
Right. And then it was like, I am the unnamed hero. It was like, and there was the whole thing is like, everyone's like, nobody calls you that. No one calls you that. The players like, we don't call you unnamed hero. You just said unnamed hero.
Yeah, but we were calling you your name is Jeff.
Jeff. Just Jeff.
Yes, but there are some who call me
hero.
the
Oh my God,
unnamed hero.
so many poses at the table. So many.
Some who call me.
So here's
He
actually,
would dress up even though nobody was dressing up.
Right? right.
I was into it.
So
Yeah.
so Josh has been hitting us with some of the this is the hardest questions like off the bat here, and
3.5 is my favorite. There we go.
yeah.
Easy.
Also 3.5 because I missed the hell out of the rank system.
Mm.
I gotta say, Magnus and I were talking about this last night. 3.5 makes a little more sense than 5, but we were trying to figure out. We were discussing Pathfinder and how it's like 3.7 and like the
Right.
differences and. Oh, Kitty made a face. That's so
I guess Pathfinder technically would have been
see you.
4.1 because it came out right after 4 because it was. But
Was it the same rule set as 4.0?
no, because it was the what are you doing, TSR? What are you doing? That was the
I
response.
thought we were talking about 4 at all.
We
4
don't
didn't
talk
make
about
sense.
4.
Yeah.
We don't.
Okay.
We don't talk about 4.
Kitty, say your piece because I have a thing about 4.0.
No.
Yeah, no. Well, it's not what you think. I think maybe Kitty.
There are things that I do like about Pathfinder. There are things that I think are cool and like, oh yeah, D&D would benefit from that. But it takes for fucking ever.
Right?
Like people, you can't like just do stuff, but then it turns into like a discussion about, oh well, this is that. I'm not doing my rant justice right now, but like seriously, like
I'm picking up what you're throwing down, though.
yeah, like everybody.
What I'm
has
hearing
to
is
vote
flames on the side of your
everything for a
face.
while. Flames.
It's the reason they call it Mathfinder. So
Yeah,
I'm
And
gonna
it's
need
like-
you to roll to verify that 20.
oh my god. Okay,
What the hell?
that is my
Are we here to have fun or?
because nothing kills the amusement. I mean, that's honestly is part of why I came up with a Nat21 because you're like, there's nothing that can kill the moment better than rolling a 20 and then having somebody go, don't get excited yet. Let's just see.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, why don't you just punch me in the gut?
I don't think that game is made for entertainers. Like
Congratulations, you won the prize. Here you wait.
It's not-
Let me just verify.
it's not
one
for
second.
storytelling. It's for number crunching.
Right,
And
Pathfinder.
I think all of us play this game for the storytelling.
Right. So here's the thing. Here's what I
Not
would
that I
like
don't
to
love
say
statistics.
in the defense of 4.0, which only has one defense. Okay. 3.5 comes out. It's sweet. It's great. It's streamlined. It's awesome. You can do all these things. It's great. But everyone is playing computer games. They're playing computer RPGs, and D&D is dropping like a rock, and no one plays it. No one plays it. Okay, so TSR, Wizards of the Coast, they're like, what are we gonna do to get these gamers to play our tabletop and get off the computer screen? And they come up with 4.0, and then you have this system that's like, it's like your RPG that you were playing on a computer, but you actually get to hang out with your friends. And they're like, oh, and then they get into it, and then they realize with having a real DM there doing other things that they're like, wait, I can have an interaction with an NPC that's more than just random choices of, like A, B, C, or D. Oh, I can actually converse and maybe do something else that's not in the multiple choice menu. And so then they're like, wait a minute. And they're like, meanwhile, Pathfinder comes out in the rage against the 4.0. And, it's like, because yeah, anyone who plays 3.5 is going to go, what are you doing? What is that? What is that mess? What is that hot mess? But anyone who's been playing computer games is going, hey, 4.0, oh, okay, that's cool. And then once we got everyone addicted, then 5.0.
Paul, quick question. 1, cite your sources. 2, did it work?
What's that?
Did it work?
Absolutely. D&D is having a resurgence. That it's had a. I mean, look at all of us. Look at all of.
But
the
see,
TV
all
shows.
of us
the internet
Yeah, I
and
mean,
were playing D&D
popularity.
before. Who
Yeah.
here played D&D 1? Or as they called it, Dungeons and Dragons?
We had Thaco and we liked it.
Thaco.
And then there was Advanced D&D.
Right.
Yes. D&D 2.
I played it back in
Right.
the day when Elf was a class.
Right. So here we
Wow.
are. It wasn't the 4.0 that caused this resurgence. It's the nostalgia of us being like, oh, I want to get back into the fun things I used to do when I was younger and hang out with my friends because everybody else who's square and our age plays poker. And golf.
I think another thing that really
golf.
helped with the resurgence is just the internet and the popularity of watching internet shows, because a lot of people like know that D&D is a thing, and whether they condemn it for being nerdy or not, and I'm talking about back like when the resurgence started, they didn't know what it was at all. Like they couldn't picture it. Like if someone says, oh, I'm playing a video game, you can picture a video game, you can picture a board game, but people who have no experience with role-playing games of that sort can't even imagine what it's like. So how can they imagine having fun? Now suddenly you could watch Critical Role and what was it, Adventures Inc.
Yeah, I mean,
D20?
there's so many shows now.
Yeah, you could watch those and see, oh, that's having about fun. That's so fun. I'm doing that.
Yeah.
I would say, yeah, I agree with you, Kitty.
I don't know if
it's the
five is to blame. I
generation
think it's more that.
that likes watching
But I mean,
people play games on the internet.
yeah, I
That
was at
it
Gen
brought the
Con though,
resurgence.
and I would say
I don't
most of
think
the
it's
people.
4.0.
I would say, I was at Gen Con. There's 90,000 people there. Most of them are below my age. The only people my age was Guar, and which, by the way, from my hometown.
Yo.
We went to college
Oh, nice.
with them.
We all went to college.
We
with
went
them,
to college with them.
No shit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so-
we
They
I
also
shared
played
the sculpture
D&D.
building with them.
I
Yeah,
mean,
they
that's not
No,
unexpected.
really?
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. So yeah, but I definitely would say that 4.0 drew in this crowd of gamers from the computer world and brought them to the tabletop. And then they went, okay, guys, now that we're done fiddling with that,
Oh, they still are,
here's the
Josh.
rules. So anyway,
And some of us do, okay?
but I mean
Yeah.
that is my only defense of 4.0. Otherwise, it's crap. So
I mean, I hear what you're saying, and I think it's a lovely narrative, and I'm not going to say you're wrong. I just don't believe it.
But see, but Gen Con is not populated by people mostly my age. They're mostly early 30s, young and 20s.
I'm not
so-
And there was a
That has
line
to
out
do
the
with it.
door for D&D 4.0, huh?
No. I'm saying like that's the thing though. That 4.0 brought them to the table. And then when they realized there's more options and everyone was like, are you done? Now we can play real Dungeons and Dragons. Here's 5.0, which is basically 3.5 mished into like kind of, they did kind of put it in a chipper and then kind of get it to the 5.0. But that's just my thought. All right.
Like
So yeah. All right. So I'm going through.
Now
here.
we talk about Pathfinder driving me to drink.
I'm going through the questions here, the comments here, trying to find the next question. So, which, by the way, I'm loving all of these comments. By the way,
And there are people still saying that D&D is evil.
there
So-
are.
It was
They also say
said
Harry
at
Potter
the,
is evil.
it was said at the Republican National Convention.
This year?
Yes, it was.
What's
It
wrong
was.
with those
It
people?
was said on night 1.
I just want to say this is my defense of D&D. Okay, granted, when everyone's 14 playing D&D, you're a bunch of murder hobos. All right, that is just what 14-year-old people do when they're playing D&D, and they're like, "Wait, I have a sword. I can use it. Sweet, stab, no consequences." And then you get over that. But here's the game where you generally work together to usually defeat evil.
And that's fucking teamwork.
And that's why and that's why they hate it at the Republican National Convention, because they themselves, as a political party, have become a bunch of murder hobos.
Now let me ask another question. Let me describe another game. Here's another game. You all
They don't like the
start off,
competition.
then you buy property, you then charge your friends rent, and when they can't pay, you throw them in jail and take their property. Which game is satanic? Monopoly is the worst fucking game ever. Monopoly is evil and should be stopped. And it ends friendships worldwide.
That's capitalism, baby.
Also, like, there are 1,000 better ways to spend your time than playing Monopoly. Like, yeah, as a board game nerd, like, Monopoly offends me personally for many reasons.
As it should.
Monopoly is the game that ends friendships and marriages.
Yeah. Yep.
So I just want to make sure I want to kind of hammer this point in. So Monopoly is evil.
Yes.
And Monopoly,
it is a bad word.
Is like capitalism. Is capitalism. So hold on, let me. I'm gonna get there. I'm getting there. There's a couple
just
pieces.
Over here drinking my tea.
Pinky up.
So Monopoly, evil, capitalism, Monopoly, evil. Is capitalism evil?
Ooh.
Ding, 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 ding.
Maybe runaway.
Yeah. Unstructured. Unstructured.
Whatever this is. Okay.
Whatever this is. Yeah.
It's not sustainable indefinitely.
I'm sorry. I apologize.
You can't keep going up. No, I'm serious. I firmly believe this. Capitalism, while it does have its merits, is not sustainable because you can't just keep going up. You run out of air.
About Risk.
Let's be honest.
Risk is great because it's the game of global domination.
Awesome. Oh, okay. I gotta share a
Lord
story.
of the Rings Risk is
Risk.
amazing because you can also go under the mountains.
Here's a true story about Risk. I've known Paul since a million years, and he used to like stay at his father's crazy dilapidated mansion and during like off times, and he would clean a room, but it was like a hoarder's mansion. So the one room that he would have clean, Paul set up a Risk game because his father would respect it and not put anything in the room that had a Risk game going.
Well,
he would leave that Risk game going for a year.
Former military, and in that part of the military that actually played war games, which is, of course, where Dungeons and Dragons actually came from, was the giant, literally like the 8 by 20 foot long table that had, tanks, and we're gonna do the Eastern Front of Germany versus Russia, and NATO versus Soviet Union. And that's literally where role-playing came from the war games. So he would respect a war game such as Risk. But so even though he was a ridiculous hoarder and had more hacksaws than anyone I've ever met, I could literally open a hacksaw store and probably go for a year just hacksaws. That would be the name of the store. Just hacksaws.
Just hacksaws.
And I could have stayed in business for a whole year just finding all of the hacksaws that he would buy, losing all of his crap, and then have to buy another one because he couldn't find it when he needed a hacksaw.
Oh boy.
So I cleaned out the dining room of all of the trash and all the crud, set up the table, and before I left for my next tour, I just put a Risk table in the Risk board on the center.
I think we started a game. I
don't even think we really played the game. I think we just.
I remember us playing a little bit.
I think we just set up all the pieces, and it was like classic Australia maneuver, and
I love the Australian
moving into
maneuver.
Siam, and then you trying to take Ukraine, which never works, by the way.
Oh, and Quebec. Oh my God, Quebec is the one territory in North America that refuses to go. The Quebecois are ferocious,
right? And I just put a box on it. I just put a big note. It said, "Please do not disturb. We'll be back to finish later." And it stayed for 3 months.
I remember coming back and seeing it again. I think we stopped on the way back, and it was still
Josh
there,
has
and I
a
was
new
amazed.
question.
All right.
This is a good
Actual
game.
question from the audience. It's almost 8 o'clock. We've answered 4 questions.
This is like an evening with Kevin Smith.
That's great. So, favorite board game. If you don't have a specific game, favorite genre. Mab already has it. So
By the way, okay, I'm gonna judge all of your answers like harshly. So just know that I'm here and I'm like this, like I'm leaning so forward in my seat, I'm gonna fall over.
Okay, I have 2 board games or games that qualify as board games. My favorite that I will play anytime, anywhere is The Settlers of Catan. I will crush you. And secondly, this new game I played recently called Mysterium, which is a cooperative game. I really enjoyed it. Where you guys, everyone but one person plays mediums that speak to ghosts, but the messages are never clear. And then the last player plays the ghost who is the victim of a murder. And you have to play these cards, and there's all these different cards that have these suggestive images, not suggestive like lewd, but like weird. And I love the artwork on that game, but these weird images, and you put these images, you give each player these visions, and they have to figure out what their visions mean. And they all work together. And I love this game because it's brilliant concept. 2, that you have to work together. Like even the ghost, you want to find the murderer. You want to know who killed the ghost. I love this game. It's so brilliant.
Nice.
I'm not explaining it
I have to look that up.
but we should play it.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
Matt, put it in the comments if you can. And then
Matt, if you like Mysterium, check out Obscurio. It is similar, except you are wizards.
Are you
trying
breaking
to
up?
escape a library.
no, we're good.
Say that again?
Wizards trying to escape a library.
Yeah, it's like a magical library, and you're trying to escape.
You're breaking
and
up.
One
What-
person.
Hello?
We can hear you.
We can all hear her. Yeah.
Oh, crap.
Uh,
What did she say?
Well, I'll just keep explaining, and you can watch it later. But
Oh, is this Mysterium? Are we playing now?
check out Obscurio.
She's the
Matt.
ghost.
Next person.
Wizards escaping from a magical library. It sounds awesome.
Well, man.
Is that Mysterium?
Kidding.
Obscurium.
Obscurium.
Oh, Obscurium. Okay.
No, Obscurio.
Obscurio.
Oh. Yeah.
Mysterio.
I'm gonna type it in the comments and see if it's right. Obscurio.
Can I talk about a game?
Yeah.
Okay, this is my favorite jam for the last like year and a half or something. It's called Meeple Circus. It's a dexterity game, and so you have all these meeples, and then some circus equipment, and they're all these little wooden pieces, and everybody is putting on a circus in 3 acts, and you choose. The cards will show you what circus tricks you can try to pull off for extra points, and like it's timed. There's like there's an app, and so you have like these, or not an app, but like a link to the website, and there's these fabulous circus songs that are like 2 minutes and 30 seconds or something, and you have that much time to balance all of these fun little wooden meeples and little horses and elephants and barrels and walking boards, and you just have to balance them all in these really intricate ways to get the most points for your circus that you're putting on. And it is so much fun, and I can play it for hours and hours and hours.
And you play it with, how many people can you play with?
5.
Nice.
What's the minimum number?
The minimum number?
I'm literally
I mean,
looking it up right now.
I have sat around playing it by myself just to like,
I would do that.
see how many
That's why I'm
points you
looking
can
it up.
get. But I've tried to make stilts in the time allowed, but stilts is very difficult. I don't even know if it's something anyone's ever done. It's not actually in the game, but it's like we've come up with our own stuff. But so 2 people can play, and you're just trying to see who gets the most points. But like, it's fun to play by yourself too. But the more people you have, the more fun it is, because it's like, oh, it's all gonna fall down. So it's like There's a Jenga element, I guess. But it's amazing.
Nice.
It's so much fun.
All right, I'm loading it now. It's $37.76 on Amazon.
All right,
Yeah.
Shakes. Board game.
If we're talking actual board game, Lord of the Rings Risk is great because you can get cards that will take you under mountains and secret passageways, and you can play with the rules of you're just taking over Middle Earth, or you can also try to be destroying the One Ring as you go. I'm also a huge fan of backgammon. And then if we're talking card games, it's so great. And then if we're going to include card games real quick, Guillotine and
I love Guillotine.
And then Phase 10.
Nice.
Okay, well, we can name a couple others. I'm going to name a couple others real quick. Red November. You're a bunch of gnomes who are on a submarine that is burning and filling up with water, and the oxygen is losing, and the nuclear power thing is going to kill you all, plus everyone's drunk, and you have to escape the submarine. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
And Sentinels. It's good. And Sentinels of the Multiverse is another one that's freaking amazing. Have you played it?
I just got the expansion for it. So I've had Sentinels for a while, and then I just got Villains to add another villain pack in to keep it spicy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice.
It's a great game. And also it's on Steam. So
what?
Yeah.
So wait, you can play
online.
virtually?
Yep. And you get all of the characters and all of the villains.
Nice.
Do you have it on Steam? Everyone get it on
do.
Steam.
Are we
Play
gonna
Sentinels of the
play this?
Multiverse.
Place right.
Yes, let's play.
Oh my gosh.
All right, we'll have a conversation because I got my Steam account fired
So
up.
I'm gonna save Adamo for last because she's the judgist of the board game. So I have a couple of board games that I feel like are quintessentially mind altering, and they're just board games, and you're like, what? And one of them is the actual original Civilization board game.
Oh my God, yes.
Before the computer game, million years ago, the first move is like 10,000 years. And then the second move is 5,000 years. And it gets shorter and shorter and shorter until you reach modern civilization. And when I first played that, and I was like, oh, I get it. Like, people move over huge courses of time. You can't build a wall. Even the Great Wall of China is not going to stop people from moving and migrating. It's like people's movements is bigger than your country that you think you're building. So, and I was like, mind blown. So Civilization. The other one is Small World, where you play different empires, and then your empire, you build your empire, you go up. Your empire now goes into decline. And then you pick another empire to play and come on the scene. And you're like, but wait, but I really loved those elven Triton riders. And you're like, yeah, but no, move on. Empires fall. All of them. Every single one. Every single one. Let me look at all of history and see if any empires. Yep, they all fall. Sorry, bye. Play again. And you just continue this cycle. And you're like, all right, mind blown. The other
How
one.
interesting that the DM likes games where you create and destroy civilizations.
Wow.
I was thinking the same thing.
Well, okay, so here's the last one I was going to say, which is awesome, which is Tokaido, which is a game where you travel the Tokaido pilgrimage route in Japan when Japan was united, not fighting, and you score points by having the most wacky conversations at the hot springs, or meeting the most intriguing people, buying the most gifts, the most variety of gifts for all your friends at the end of your trip, having the widest variety of foods eaten. Like, that's what scores you points.
That sounds like the Bard game, honestly.
Yeah, it is literally the game of life for Japanese, and not the all right, we're gonna hit this capitalism thing again. So it's like American game of life is like, go to school, get a college degree, get a car, get a house, get a family. And this is like, you should hang out at the hot tub and talk to cool people.
Try out some food.
You should try to expand your palate, taste. Have you know, maybe buy some gifts for some friends. Oh, you also score points by donating the most to the shrines. So, and it's like it is, and it's funny because the map is like a little track, and you're like, you're not racing to the end. You know, you almost feel like, you know, when you first play, you're like, I'm gonna race to the end. I'm get there first, and you're like, if you get there first, you actually gain nothing.
Yeah.
If you take
it's about the journey.
Yeah, it's all about the journey. And if you, it's like one of them is like you score points by seeing the most varied panoramas. It's like, I love this game.
So the DM is also interested in a game where it's all about the journey
and
not
character
destination.
development.
Empire build. I'm detecting a theme.
Yeah. So, you know, anyway, so those are mine. And then also I have to say, throwing on the other one, which is like a big group one. If you like Pandemic, but you want more stress.
I'm living through it now, man.
I don't want to play that game for a long time.
Shadows over Camelot is one of the craziest cooperative games. It's so stressful. It's right on the edge. Sometimes we're like, we got this, and then we like lose, and you're like, and you lose big. But it's like, but it is Camelot, and you're all. I do have to say, the one downside of this game is that all of the good guys are knights, and all of the villains, aside from the Picts and the Saxons, all of the villain cards are all women, because that's the King Arthur legend is like, you know, Morgan Le Fay and
from the man point of view.
yeah. So I will have to say that I'm like, I would really like some different villain cards.
How about Mordred?
If you just kind of don't,
he's a mama's boy, so because mama raised him wrong.
Right. So yeah.
I have a question for Matt real quick.
So
Matt.
Yeah, man, the trader mechanic in that, oh my gosh, because one person can be a trader, but you know what? You don't even need it to make this game super stressful. It's like if you're really, really good at the game, then you add the trader, but otherwise, don't even, because you're gonna lose hard in this game. I love it. Anyway,
I don't think that's stress.
Mav, I wanted to ask you something real quick. So you said you like one of the games that you were talking about made me think of this, Paolo. But you were saying you really like Catan. Have you played Scythe?
I feel like I have. Tell me about Scythe.
It's like Catan on steroids. There's a lot more going on with your army. It was a long time ago that I played it, but it was really awesome. Way longer than Catan, and just way more involved. There's like a lot more like elements to your army and your.
I gotta tell you what I like about Catan. I liked the negotiations between players. That's my favorite part. And there has now been instituted the MAB rule in my house, named after me for some reason. I don't know. Where you're only allowed to negotiate with someone who's willing to negotiate.
Wow.
Who hurt that MAB? Oh, Mab. It was Mab. Mab heard that.
Yikes.
Even though I was still successful in my negotiations, they're all like...
Yeah. Oh, and I will throw down for Catan any day. So anytime.
Yeah.
And backgammon.
I was really good at making offers people couldn't refuse. So
nice. All right, Ayala, I guess you're here to close this up with your judgy choice of games.
All right. So first of all, genre. Resource management engine builders. All right. We're going deep nerd here. If it doesn't take at least 3 hours to play, I'm not interested. Like, I want to be sitting at the table for like a full night. I love games that you have to pay attention to so many things at once. I want to be like playing and resource managing. I want to be building my engine. I want to be having like a lot of that diplomacy stuff with the players. Not as much into territory control games like Risk, for instance. But I like when there's a territory control aspect. That doesn't mean you have to win at territory control. So, you know, if you can play a game and get all of those layers and be like debating with people and trying to trade with people, while also doing your own thing and maybe controlling the board, but maybe not, that's awesome. Examples would be Twilight Imperium. Takes a minimum of like 8 hours to play.
Wow.
Sidereal Confluence. That one you're playing as alien nations trying to contribute science, and you need resources for your science. So that's a really good one. You spend the whole time like having these trading rounds where everybody like yells at each other for like 5 minutes trying to get the resources they need. Let's see.
Are any of those on Board Games Arena?
I actually don't know what that is.
It's I just found out about it recently myself, but it's a way that like we could play board games online while separate. And the
website Tabletop Simulator on Steam.
Okay.
I've seen that one.
Yeah. So some friends of mine who I've played board games with a lot recently jumped onto Board Games Arena, and it has a lot of fun games, but I haven't explored everything it has yet. But yeah, Tabletop Simulator is classic. I don't know why they don't want to use that one. I don't know if this is better or something. I haven't investigated enough. Please continue.
I'll check it out. Also, Terraforming Mars. You're like corporations terraforming Mars, so you have to have your resources and
that
stuff.
one's very good.
But I also love games that have like a RPG element to them that are really challenging. If anybody's ever heard of Nemesis, it's kind of based off of Alien and Predator, or Alien rather. But the enemies are really tough. You're more likely to lose than win. It's semi-cooperative, but there's usually people with motives that are contrary to the group. So there's that intrigue. You're trying to just survive and do what you need to do to get off the ship while these aliens are trying to kill you. And it's really intense. So I like complex games is kind of the bottom line.
All right.
I could rant about this for another hour, but I'll cut it off there.
We're gonna have you have your own talk show about board games for an hour, so we'll just wrap it up. But all right,
can we all organize some board game play like on the Nat21 page or something?
I think that might happen actually. Yeah.
I will say I'm reluctant to commit to an 8-hour game. I'm just gonna put that out there.
That's like a 3-parter. I'm sorry. That's
okay.
Like,
when I said if it's under 3 hours, I'm not interested. That's not actually true. I play a lot of shorter games, but my favorite ones are really long. But there's lots of great stuff that's like a little bit of something for everybody. So
yeah. Well, I would like to thank all of our Patreon saints who made it here tonight, and thanks for the great questions. They were obviously we filled an hour and 15 minutes of talking about them. So thanks so much, everybody. And I want to thank all of our Nat21 players. Here, I'm trying to point. There's me pointing at everybody. Mab Just Mab, Adama Ignis, Kitty Chaos, Shakespeare Approves. I'm Paolo Garbanzo, and this link will be up, and then we're gonna put this up as a slightly edited form in another week or so for the general public. So I do hope you've enjoyed your exclusive view of our Ask Me Anything Nat21 Adventures, and I hope to see y'all again, my friends. Our Patreon game is tomorrow night. It's going to be on Twitch, 5 to whenever I manage to kill most of them. I'm kidding.
Ruh-roh.
So do come on over and I hope to see you there, because you can use your Nat21 gifts to Patreon them. Patreon. I got Patreoned. All right, my friends. Thanks a lot. We'll see you. Maybe we'll see you tomorrow, and then we'll see you hopefully Tuesday night. 8 p.m. and then Wednesday. The finale, season finale.
Oh, that's right. That was a quick question from Tommy. It was like, are we anticipating? I'm like,
ooh.
I'm not letting Azizel die.
How many gold teeth does that guy have?
All of them. Look at all those gold horns, and he's got it's half gold. So
I think I missed that particular painting with Paolo, unfortunately.
I actually got this already. All right, my friends. Thanks a lot. We'll see you all again and enjoy the rest of your night. Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.